Welcome back to Lobby Concessionals, the movie podcast where nobody's right and everybody's wrong. I'm Parker, and that's Brendan. Today we are going to be doing a late to the show. 2 weeks ago, we talked to Alison about her objectively wrong opinion that Arnold Schwarzenegger is a bad actor, and we got her to watch a film. We actually offered her Terminator 2, The Predator, and Kindergarten Cop. And ultimately, she decided to watch Kindergarten Cop to try and change her mind. Alison, welcome back to the show.
Thanks so much.
So, first thoughts. What are your impressions? How did Kindergarten Cop go? Just as a movie overall, I guess, first of all. And then secondly, how is Arnie?
So definitely as a teacher watching it, I'm like, is the 90s, did something happen where it was just chaos and teachers could leave their classrooms whenever they wanted? Great, yeah, leave your 25 kindergartners by themselves.
Have you ever wanted to punch a parent?
I have, actually, so that's great. So that was pretty entertaining, and I was giggling at a lot of parts.
Oh,
so
there it is.
Good.
Sounds like a slam dunk.
Because of Arnold Schwarzenegger? No, it was not.
Was it not because of Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like, come on.
I think the only time I actually giggled was when he was singing E-I-E-I-O, and he had the bandana.
But the range.
Oh.
The ring. I choose to believe that Arnie showed up that day with that outfit, and they were like, well, I guess he has to wear this. So
I guess we're doing E-I-E-I-O. Range is a rough term that I still don't think that can apply.
But it's out of the wheelhouse to what you thought he was capable of.
Yes, it does give me a little bit more, like the beginning, the opening scene where he's following Crisp or whatever.
His name's Crisp.
Just Crisp, okay. He's not a cracker. Okay.
No, not Crispy Cracker or Krispy Kreme even. Yeah. He's not none of the above.
None of those things.
Wait, but you're talking about like grizzled hobo cop Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, the stalker guy. Undercover cop, which looks very obvious in a trench coat in the middle of the mall.
For the record, while we're talking about this, I think it's amazing that they managed to get a bunch of extras that are relatively the same size as Arnie. Because he's wearing that trench coat and he doesn't look massive.
Oh, it's two dudes in a trench coat, though.
But like he passes normal people, like a mom and her kid, and I'm like, how did they shoot this? 'Cause he doesn't look that much bigger than them, and I know he is. He could eat them both.
And with those sunglasses on, he honestly looked like he's his age now. Like he was looking pretty rough.
He's looking 70.
So I was a little worried at the beginning because I thought that was a little too close to his 80s robotic acting. But then once we got into kindergarten and he started being a little more natural, I think. Like there's definitely some smiles, but every time he was falling in love, and I put that in quotes because it was rough.
Arguably that's not his strong suit.
There's just no facial expression. He's like, if I just don't have facial expression, then it'll look like I'm madly in love with the person across from me. If I just leave my face completely blank. Yeah, exactly. No, but you've even got too much of a smile there. There you go.
I think
you are a human woman that I adore.
Exactly.
How is the accent?
That was, I do have to go back and just say, I put him in this category of Sylvester Stallone because I was thinking, 80s action stars. And, yeah, that's just not the case. I think there was only one time where I was like, oh, you could have done better at that.
Oh, sorry, the accent's always there.
Yeah,
and,
no, sorry.
But the enunciation.
Yeah. So,
he's not a mumbler.
No, he really doesn't have an issue.
He's quite clear, actually, yeah.
I think just from not having watched a lot of his films, I was just like, oh no, he's like Sylvester Stallone. Like they don't.
So
enunciate.
we got a little bit there.
Yeah, so like that, I'll definitely give him.
Well, and for the record, though, I do think some of the fault of that is due to Schwarzenegger impersonators or like impressions. I think that
the
people
exaggeration
do
of it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Where they like, and I did a bad Schwarzenegger impression last episode.
Yeah.
That, you know, like definitely exaggerates it, and he is far more understandable than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
Well, and I think of like Family Guy and all of those
Totally.
where they're exaggerating.
It's
but-
just guttural noises,
Yeah.
you know,
exactly. Yeah.
in an accent.
But yeah, other than like just the general movie issues, like they did a montage of all the kids acting poorly, and then they just threw in a scene from the first day, even though he had changed clothes and looked completely different. So like continuity, guys. And then also
That's not Arnie's fault, though.
It absolutely is Arnie's fault.
He showed up on the set in the same clothes and was like, I thought this is what we were doing. And then also just how obvious the twist. Not twist, it's not a twist.
What's the twist?
Like who the girl is.
Oh, the reveal.
Yeah, the reveal. Like it was immediate within the first second of him walking into that school being like, I know exactly who it is.
Well, the movie is made for children.
I don't think it's made for children.
Yeah, definitely. It's a family-friendly comedy.
That's the '90s thing, right? Like we're gonna maybe that's a discussion for another day. Is the age scale of how movies have aged? But but '80s and '90s movies, the kids' movies are probably not for a lot of modern audiences.
I don't know if that would, like, what about that sits wrong? Not that that's really the point we're making here, but still, I'm curious.
It's a good conversation to have.
Like a father being a drug dealer trying to come after
that's
his
pretty
kid,
normal.
But, like, we
getting
don't see
shot.
them dealing drugs. They just talk about it.
I know, but getting shot in school multiple times, like that would make kids afraid to go to school, right? Like he lights the library on fire.
But, like, there's
But
lots
it's
of
funny.
movies that are... there's lots of movies that are made for kids that have, like, you know, Home Alone. I get that same era, I guess. But, like, even Star Wars films, they're set in a war. People die.
But that's
you know, and
different.
Is
Like,
it?
Yeah.
Why?
It's not the same. Well, like, I think A, war is different. B, fantasy is different.
War is okay for kids?
No, well, I think it's more explainable. I
And
think
drugs aren't.
I want to remove myself from this conversation real bad.
We're getting off topic.
I think war is something that children need to understand because I think, like, we go through wars and it can happen and, like, there's fighting and stuff. But to have a conversation about, like, is your father evil? Is your mother a bad person for stealing you from your parents? Or, like, from the other parent, right? Like, and to also just have, like school is supposed to be a safe place. And so to have that lack of safety with that, like...
How old is your oldest niece?
10.
10? Yeah. So, like, what you're saying and what I'm understanding is we shouldn't show your 10-year-old niece Kindergarten Cop, but we should totally let them watch Thin Red Line.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
No, 10 is fine. 10 I give a lot of sway to. Like, I think 10 is...
Oh, so you just wouldn't want to show them in utero this film?
No, but I think
it's too much.
My 4-year-old or like I don't know 5-year-old niece like probably shouldn't watch this movie.
That's fair. Thin Red Line's pretty heavy for a 5-year-old. We should probably just scale it back to Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah, absolutely,
No,
absolutely.
This isn't really like I wouldn't say this is a family-friendly film. Like
Oh, it absolutely is.
I,
this is what the objectively wrong should have been.
We're gonna come back to this one.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
yeah.
So, like, bottom line sort of situation, or not bottom line, but like, is Arnold Schwarzenegger a good actor?
No.
Hard no. No, won't give me anything. No.
Zero give.
Oh wow.
Like it was still just as I expected with.
But he did surprise you in some parts. Like he's still a bad actor, but he's not as bad as you thought he was.
Correct.
I'd maybe give you like a centimeter of leeway on that. But
Get
like,
out.
Like, basically, it's just they put him in a good costume, so, like,
Okay.
made him more entertaining with his hat.
He brought the costume himself. We talked about this.
If that was literally the case, then,
That's
like,
method
I'll
acting.
give him... Yeah,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He refused to be out of that costume when he was off the camera.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I still wouldn't say he has an emotional range that would
No
make...
emotional range. Bad actor.
Yeah.
He delivers who is your daddy and what does he do, and you are not going to give him an inch.
No.
That's fair.
But the little kids were
Objectively wrong
hilarious.
is appropriate.
Yeah. It's a good name for the previous segment, for sure. Okay, and so given that you're set and stubborn on being wrong, what about the other aspect of our conversation? He is an entertaining actor. Were you entertained by this film? And
So-
don't lie.
Not gonna lie. I was entertained by the film, and it makes me want to potentially watch, like, Jingle All the Way.
There it
That's
is.
a W. That's a W, folks. I need a bell. I mean,
Yeah, we gotta get. Yeah, we need an air horn.
Yeah,
Definitely an air horn button somewhere.
I retract all statements. No. Yeah, like, I think, because I always put him with this, like, action 80s star.
Sure.
So
Sure.
now, like, maybe I'd even watch Twins, because I do love Danny DeVito.
Well, so the
So,
Ivan
like-
Reitman, Arnold Schwarzenegger is generally like pretty hailed as some of his best comedic work because it's Twins, Kindergarten Cop, Junior is the other one.
Yeah.
And just super clear, Junior is Arnold Schwarzenegger pregnant,
Yeah.
and like that's the joke. Like it's the whole thing, you know. And it gets mileage, but like probably not a movie's worth of mileage, you know.
Method acting, though.
Yeah.
Once again. Just
Right,
huge.
But like they are generally hailed as you know some of like his best comedic stuff for sure.
But, like, does that say more about Ivan Reitman than it does about Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I think it's interesting that you know at the end of the day that guy had a fairly storied career, but like at the same time I believe he had only done like something under like 20 movies or so as a director, maybe even less than that. And he chose to go back to Arnie multiple times. Sounds like a slam dunk to me. Are you gonna dishonor the dead, Alison?
Wow. I guess
He did pass.
that's not the point.
I did not know.
Last month.
last
Or
month.
2 months ago? I don't know.
No, it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
As of this recording. So, February, for those keeping track at home.
Yeah.
February 2022.
I need to relook up these things. Yeah, no, I think it was just a product of the, like, everyone jumping on the Arnie bandwagon and not.
Man, she keeps coming up with bad takes. we have a... I should start writing these down. We have a gold mine here.
Yeah. Infinite content.
Yeah. Allison, how about you come on the show and just talk a bunch, and eventually we'll find something that we think is wrong.
We'll just do a super cut of bad takes.
No, but truly, thank you for putting up with us, and thank you for coming on and then refusing to have any sort of leeway or open-mindedness at all. Because without that, we wouldn't have a show.
That's true.
I said I would be willing to watch another film.
And yet we didn't watch Predator. So
Yeah, but according to everything I've heard, that's not her fault.
I will admit my pitch was terrible. The worst of the three by far.
Yeah. I think I'd take this as a bigger W if you went back and watched one of the action movies.
And I have a feeling I need to. And so, like I said, like with Predator, and I think with the Terminators as well, it's something that's like is cultural, and it is something that gets brought up a lot, and so it is something that I should probably visit. But like, I have 100 years of film to catch up on.
Yeah, that's why you should probably make Hercules in New York a priority.
I love Hercules.
So you're gonna throw I have 100 years of of film to catch up on in my face. Alison, how often do you rewatch films?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, interesting. So you'd rather rewatch bad movies instead of knowingly watching movies that may, in fact, be mediocre, but trying something new. Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
I just wish there was bushes behind me, so I could just disappear into them right now.
That can be your objectively wrong. We'll pick a movie that I love that you hate, and then I'll just.
But how will you pick? You like all movies except for Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is a national treasure, an Austrian treasure. He's probably more U.S. than Austrian now.
He was a governor at one point.
Yeah.
The governator, thank you.
He can
this.
still be a national treasure. It just doesn't have to be.
You don't have to specify the nation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll be the third movie. Is it third movie?
Which?
National
Treasure?
Oh,
Where,
yeah.
where Nick Cage has to like
Save
find
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Figure out what nation
Brilliant.
he's a treasure of. That's great.
end this disaster.
I can't do it in Nick Cage voice. But
No,
if I
don't.
could, I was gonna say something about I have to steal Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like that would be good. That would be good. And the whole FBI will be trying to stop him. Oh man, somebody get Bruckheimer on the phone. This is it. Anyway, I don't think we can sink much lower, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you again, Alison, for being on the show. We don't have a mug for you.
I don't even have a mug.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. When we get Brendan a mug, we'll get you a mug.
Thank you.
And we look forward to you being back someday.
Yeah, I can't wait.